Thank you for visiting me on YouTube. Today we're going to talk about Ken Blackwell. The former Ohio Secretary of State is now trying to run for the Republican National Committee's chairmanship. He's facing against Mike Duncan. Mike Duncan was the guy who lost the general election in 2008 and as well as 2006. The Republicans are in need of a change, and they're figuring out what can they do to improve the party. Blackwell, being an African-American Republican, had faced criticism because he certified Ohio for President Bush in a highly contested race between him and John Kerry, the senator from Massachusetts. And in 2006, when Robert Taft stepped down after his appointment was over, he was facing criticism because of his Coingate scandal. And Ken Blackwell was running against a toxic environment where Republicans were facing uphill battles. Ken Blackwell ran against former Congressman, now Governor Ted Strickland. Ted Strickland won overwhelmingly, especially in the African American votes, for those who are still trying to say that we vote because we're black. Blackwell, now out of a job, is trying to figure out how he can improve his image by trying to at least run for Republican National Committee and at least try to mend fences with the African American community, in which the African American community supported Barack Obama overwhelmingly. The Republicans are in need of a makeover, and by having Chip Saltsman, the former Tennessee GOP leader, distribute a copy of Paul Shanklin's We Hate the USA, in which it parodies Barack as the Magic Negro, it seems that they really need an improvement on how they can deal with people who are African American, Latino American, Arab American, and of course Asian American and Native American. I think to myself that the Republican Party is not focused on kitchen table issues like the economy and healthcare, and of course education. Being Blackwell, being a former Ohio Secretary of State, Blackwell's wife was the superintendent of the Cincinnati schools. So I'm guessing that Blackwell will try to focus on education as well as healthcare, as well as trying to reestablish the conservative brand. It's going to take a while for the Republicans to reestablish its brand because George W. Bush and Vice President Dick Cheney, their approval ratings are at record lows. And I think to myself that what can the Republican Party do to inspire many people to vote for them? Right now, with the media, of course, the right-wing media, they're trying their best to paint Barack Obama as a corrupt leader, and he's not even in office yet. They already tried to tie him to Rod Blagojevich. Newt Gingrich, the founder of the Republican Revolution, slammed that idea. He warns the Republicans not to get too invested in worrying about Rod Blagojevich. It's going to be a long year for the Republicans, seeing that in a few days Barack Obama will become the president. But nonetheless, I do my best to post these videos to inspire many people who are Democrats and Republicans to post video responses on how they feel about what's going on with the country. I wish Ken Blackwell the best of luck. He's got endorsements from some of the mainstream conservatives like James Dawson and Tony Perkins. The Politico has a list of them. I put it down on the bottom so you can read who's supporting Ken Blackwell. He's also facing Michael Steele, the former Lieutenant Governor of Maryland, who's also African American and a Republican. Now on to other things. Now, I know a lot of people are talking about who's going to replace Barack Obama and who's going to replace Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. But you also forget that Ken Salazar, the senator from Colorado, is also finding a replacement. And I think they already have found a replacement for Salazar. But as of right now, Biden is still a senator until January 3rd. Hillary Clinton will resign January 3rd, and Barack Obama had already resigned from the Senate. With the controversy surrounding Caroline Kennedy and Roland Burles, Harry Reid's put in position, as well as with the Minnesota recount. Al Franken, Caroline Kennedy, and Roland Burles are trying to become senators of their representative states. Harry Reid has decided, basically he's not going to seat Roland Burles. Roland Burles is basically trying to say that Harry Reid's being a racist, and Harry Reid shot back. Caroline Kennedy is facing a lot of criticism because they feel that her political dynasty as a Kennedy is getting in the way of her ideas and policies that she sponsors as a senator if she was to be nominated by David Paterson, the New York governor. And of course, the recount. Norm Coleman is out of a Senate position right now. Until the recount is done, Norm Coleman is a former senator until further notice. Al Franken is not Senate elect yet. Right now, Al Franken is leading in the recount, and Republicans are threatening lawsuits as well as filibustering, preventing Al Franken from being seated. And of course, talk radio, Rush Limbaugh, and Fox News, Sean Hannity, and Bill O'Reilly are not too thrilled about Al Franken being in the lead. What can Harry Reid do? Harry Reid is already scared that he may face a tough re-election because of his support for Joe Lieberman and, of course, not focusing on the issues at hand. So I come to this conclusion in this part of the video that Caroline Kennedy is inexperienced. Roland Burris should not be seated. Al Franken is going to win this election. There you go. This is what's going to happen. Basically, when Barack Obama becomes president, we're going to face more criticism from the Republicans and, of course, the people in the dumb right. And I think to myself, what can they not do? What can they not do to make their image look even worse? By them doing what they're doing, they're not helping the Republican Party and they're not helping the Democratic Party. They're only being a distraction. So while we're in a recession and we're facing two wars and, of course, healthcare and a global crisis with the automobile industry, how about the Republicans figure out a way to improve their image by working with the Democrats? Isn't that simple? But again, I wish the best of luck to Ken Blackwell. Hopefully he may become the Republican National Committee chairman in order for him to establish an image with the African American community. Roland Burris, I don't think he should be appointed as the Illinois senator, regardless of his African American background. He's a corrupt, just like his predecessors and just like Rod Blagojevich. And I don't think Caroline Kennedy should jump ahead of anybody who's well qualified to be a senator. I support Cuomo. Thank you for visiting me on YouTube. Post your comments at the bottom. And once again, this is an honest opinion about what's going on with the government, what's going on with my community, and of course the corrupt mainstream media. So once again, this is not a logical fact. This is just an honest opinion.